Hi,
This
Ryan.
meeting is being
Hi, it's good to
recorded.
see you. Good to see you too. This is fun, and I see your sweet, smiling face and all these different things we do. And you just always like just just have like this easygoing way about you, and it's just so like comforting and nice to see you all the time.
Same here. I literally see you everywhere, especially in your little reels that you do on socials. They're so nice. They're like so comforting.
Thank you. Sometimes I feel like, am I crazy? Do you know what I mean? Like, when you're doing that stuff, and I'm thinking, it's such an on display thing to
Hmm.
do, but at the same time, they really are spontaneous for me. I mean, like a lot of times I'll think of something that might like interest me that I'd want to post about or thinking about it or a funny saying or a thing. And then I have, that, do you have an iPhone?
I do.
Like that notepad. I have something that says like post 2025. And then I put a little light bulb icon and I'll write the thing, so I can remember. So it really is like of the moment. Most of them are just like what just happened or let me see if I could do this. And the less I think about it, the better those ones are. To just like do it, get it over with.
Well, they're really fun. I love them. Absolutely.
Thank you.
Okay.
That means a lot.
Anytime.
Um,
So, thank you for coming here. I really appreciate you um taking time from a busy schedule. I know it's a little bit hectic because showcase is literally right around the corner.
but that's another reason I wanted to make sure to do this with you because I thought, it is right around the corner. And if you're going to talk about showcase, I just wanted to be able to like help you and do this fun thing with you. So,
Yeah, I really appreciate it. Thank you.
oh, and by the way, like I said, you are doing great. And I I I took I think it was like 6 months or whatever, and I tutelaged, I don't know what you call it, got coaching from Corey Disson like
Hmm.
a couple years ago or whatever it was. And I can tell what you guys are doing a little bit, you know what I mean? With the different themes and all that. And um he kind of puts like a natural light on something, you know what I mean? To
Hmm.
like bring it to mind and everything, but you put your own spin on it and it's great.
Thank you.
Okay.
Alrighty. So, let's get started, shall we?
Yeah.
So, the first question is to describe your experience as an actor or actress slash voice actor or voice actress.
Wow. It's very personal to me and very me. Um, I took a class in voice acting when I was like 21 and I had no idea what that was. It just sounded fun and interesting. And really, they were just trying to sell me a demo. And they were asking me to sound like, try sounding like Barry White or say this like this. And I had no clue what I was doing and what they were asking me to do. And in the end, like the demo was some astronomical amount of money to me at the time at 21. Who knows how much it was, but that was that. And through doing all different things in life, now I've circled back to that kind of spontaneously around the pandemic, just like a lot of people. But I think because so many things are remote,
Hmm.
that made studying voice acting and being around other voice actors and learning about what that is totally possible. It didn't, that roadblock of having to go somewhere and figure that out and how would I get there and how would that fit into regular life, it just stripped that away. Um, Voice acting for me channels all my inner stuff, all my inner ham in such a way that I didn't even know possible. Like if it's like a pair of shoes that fits perfectly the Cinderella situation that I was so surprised about. And it's become such a creative outlet for me. And not just an outlet, just absolutely a way to channel and funnel all my creativity, like all these different things combining to make this really interesting soup. And I just had no idea that I would make it to here and now. And I just I'm going for the gold. And some days I know what that looks like, and other days I don't, but I'm open to whatever that is.
So, this
That was a
isn't,
big long answer.
no, it's fine. I was going to ask you, this isn't a part of like the questions that I have written down here, but you are also someone who is a bilingual
hmm
uh voice actor. What was that like for you, like throughout your journey?
Um, Interesting. It's interesting that I embraced being that, but I feel there's such a need for it. And I kind of had to see where I fit into that, and it took time and auditioning and realizing what kind of auditions were coming my way and the market and stuff. Um, no matter how fluent I am, and I am fluent, Spanish is the second language for me. So I realized what kinds of things could I do in Spanish? What kinds of projects would want me? You know. So I realized if someone wants a version of something in English and Spanish, I'm that person. If somebody has a character, yeah, no problem. If they're asking for a native speaker, then that's where I'm not going for those types of roles, because my Spanish is going to have a slightly American accent. And also, I go for Latin American neutral or Spanish neutral or Latinx. And if they don't specify native, that I go ahead and audition for those. Um, it's made me look at Spanish differently. And what I love about doing voiceover and the bilingual aspect of it, I have a script that I get to work with. So it's not totally off the top of my head. So we're not talking about my grammar or my ability, to keep talking and have a full-on professional conversation or something like that. It's all about the script. And it's helped me to get to know the language better through the script. Like, first of all, what am I really trying to say? And how would I say that in Spanish? And then also the pronunciation, to really pay an active attention to how something's pronounced. And I oftentimes have to, check with other members of my family or even things online just to hear it and make sure I'm okay.
Mm-hmm.
So it's interesting. But I feel um, thankful to embrace this bilingual aspect of my voice acting because it's another tool in my toolbox that makes me different, unique, and could get me through the door, whether it's in English or Spanish.
Okay, cool. Sorry, I'm just like listening. I'm like, I rarely do anything in Spanish.
Yeah, yeah, I never considered it before. And even my husband's like, why do you even bother with the Spanish? And I'm like, well, because I can and I see that it comes up and like people want it. And I just go for it. At least they know who I am, and if they picked me, fine. If they didn't, fine. But I'm in the running, and some of the Spanish, and I'm good at it. But a lot of the Spanish I hear, like sometimes, is not so good on TV and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm thinking, they did it. I can absolutely do it. I mean,
Yeah, I can tell you for sure. Like when I lived in Puerto Rico, I remember growing up, they would show like Korean dramas, but with Spanish voiceover
oh,
on
I
it.
think I remember you saying this, and it was like so bad.
It was like it was like the I can't say that it was like it was lackluster. Like the voice acting was so
Uh,
lackluster. Like they would be like, "I'm mad," instead of it actually showing in their voice
right.
that they're mad.
Um, I really had to come to terms with the native thing. Like, what does
Hmm.
that mean? You'll Google and native means different things. But then I thought about it and I thought, okay, it's not my focus. I'd rather do things in English, but again, it's something that gets me through the door. And I get to practice whatever the script is.
Hmm.
So that's cool. So again, it's not coming off the top of my head, which makes me feel I can do it a lot better. Um, but what if there was this lady, this Latin American lady from wherever, and then my voice was coming out of her mouth? So that wouldn't happen. That's when the light bulb went off for me. Like, okay, that's
Mm-hmm.
what I'm considering native. So if you have talking and a person, but the words aren't, for her, then I'm there.
Gotcha.
Do you do anything in Spanish at all?
I don't really do a lot of work. I haven't done anything in Spanish for I think over 2 years actually. Because it's for me it's harder to find anything in Spanish, but then again I only look at Casting Call Club. So
Yeah.
I may have to broaden things out. I think I also one thing I have to work on is making my accent more neutral because I have a heavy Puerto Rican accent when speaking in Spanish.
Mhm.
And by that I mean like I tend to eat a lot of the R's and or I mix a lot of the R's and L's.
Uh-huh.
And when speaking, I eat a lot of not eat, but I skip over the last S or T in a syllable.
Uh-huh.
So that's one of the things that I have to work on. And I remember I was casted in this fan project and I remember like the producer being like, "Hey, you did a good job. We're casting you as this character, but do you think you can work on your pronunciation with these tongue twisters because it
Interesting.
sounds way too Puerto Rican. We wanted like a neutral Latin American accent."
How funny. How funny, but it's so interesting. And probably because, see, did you grow up speaking Spanish?
Yes and no. So I grew up in Puerto Rico. Not grew
Okay.
up, like I lived there since I was 13 and then I moved out there when I was like 25 or 26. So I practically grew up with like the language or whatnot, at least with
Mhm.
that type of Spanish. But I didn't know practically any Spanish other than what I've heard like I could
Right.
understand if you spoke to me, but before then I could not speak any of it. I couldn't read any of it
Mhm.
before moving to Puerto Rico.
It's so interesting because, in your case, in my case, coming from two totally different circumstances, it's funny, like even someone who grew up here in Los Angeles, lots of people that I know, if they speak Spanish, their Spanish has like an accent too, American.
Mhm.
It's just such a hodgepodge. I figure it's a tool in your toolbox too, even if you don't advertise it. It's just a word in there that's makes you a little different.
Yeah. Okay, I know we went
Okay.
off track a bit.
All right.
Alrighty. It's just so fun to like talk to someone else who's like bilingual in the industry. It's so fun.
It is
All
fun.
right. Okay. So, question number two. Speaking of industry, what are your favorite things about the industry?
My favorite things about the industry are definitely one of the main things is the community. And I had no idea. I had no idea that the voice acting community was filled with all these amazing people who are so positive and supportive. Um, really, I got to experience this through my involvement at VO Radio. So I've been involved with VO Radio from its inception a couple years ago, and it was founded by casting director Anthony Reese, and I did a lot of training with him and everything for voice acting. And then he, created this amazing online streaming radio station for voiceover people at all different levels. And so I'm the imaging voice of VO Radio, and we also do a live show every Monday and Wednesday that now streams on YouTube, and then like another YouTube thing on Fridays. And on the panel, it's me, um, Deb Monroe, and like a whole bunch of other people, Bev Standing, um, Lala Peters sometimes, will be there, and other people. Like we have a panel of coaches and mentors and fellow VO people and overlapping industries. And this community opened up to me. I mean, like, I didn't know they were there. And without this platform and also being able to see them on Zoom, we can see each other, but it's Well, now we're seeing on YouTube too, but it streams on the radio. And to actually meet people, and the more people I met, and the more I realized whether someone's been doing it 30 years or they're new, or me, I'm like a teenager now in the middle, like everybody experiences so many of the similar things, and everyone's so helpful and supportive. Like, oh, this is what you do, and oh, that's normal, and sound this way, and everybody experiences this, and just so many helpful things. Every day that I'm on the radio, I feel like I'm getting free training, which I am, just by hearing that you're okay, because we operate in a vacuum. We don't know if what we're doing is normal. And then you realize, oh, it is normal. Like everyone does a million takes sometimes, or gets frustrated because they can't do it right, or sometimes they just go boop and it's good. And it allows me to network with people. And now I get to book their VIP guests, and it's another way that I get to reach out and say hello to somebody, and also, they get on the show and stuff. Um, so my favorite thing about the industry is definitely the community and the creative aspect of it. Um, that I never know what I get to do. In any given day, I get to be um, any kind of real life character or any kind of imaginary character. It gives me a wonderful creative poke.
Okay. So, with that in mind, what are some things you wish you could change about the industry, and how would you change them?
Things I'd want to change in the industry. I don't want to say I don't know enough about the industry, or knock on wood, haven't had enough um, negative experiences to change something. Um, I would say, um, I guess on a wish list, having more direct contact when it comes to auditions. When you're on people's rosters and you submit, and then it goes off into the abyss, and then you never know. you
Mm,
know, but I know that's how it works. So I kind of accept it as it is. I mean, it would be really cool if you could always have like feedback and another chance, and like, oh, this is good, but we're really looking for this. You want to give it another shot or something? That would be cool. But uh, that's like a super wish uh, on an imaginary wish list.
gotcha. All right. Um, Now we're getting to showcase stuff. So, what is one thing you're looking forward to for showcase?
To meet everybody in person. Like for this particular showcase, I'm in person. And I've done all these, on Zoom, and it really introduced me to how cool doing something like this is, and I'm all for it. But this particular one will be my first one actually in person, and I get to meet Law and so many that have been on the panel. Will you be there?
I'm being in the VO one. I can't make it to the LA showcase, unfortunately, at the moment.
But you'll be on Zoom?
I will be on Zoom.
Okay. Well, it's going to be so different to actually be there in person, and I just feel so excited about it. And so the one thing I'm looking forward to is the whole in-person aspect, and tanging off of that is, of course, meeting the panel and those types of people. I want to meet them, and I want them to meet me. I want them to see me and hear me and remember me. So that's like what I'm really excited. But my main thing is for the relationships and for the connections and for all that to happen in person.
Okay. So, I know you said that you want to meet everyone in
Mhm.
person, but do you have any goals for the showcase and for your overall career?
My goals for this LA showcase and my overall career, again, are relationships and connections and the whole learning experience of doing this in person. So I want the confidence within me to know, like, wow, I've done this in person and lots of things might look like this. and this might open doors for other experiences. And even if I don't directly get to connect with everybody on an ongoing basis, which I would love, with all the panelists and all that stuff. They'll remember that they saw me, and you never know what kinds of doors those could open up, or continued relationships, or something that might pop up, and they say, "Oh, you know what? There was this girl that I saw," and they may not remember exactly about my performance or whatever it is, but somehow they'll remember me in some kind of a way,
Hmm.
which is going to be a good way.
Getting a little bit off topic, do you have any like I was gonna call them meeting cards.
Oh,
Business cards.
business
There we
cards.
go.
Ryder, I do. You know what? I totally forgot about that. Thank you. Shoot. I do. I do. And I only went to Sovas because it was in LA, and I didn't
Hmm.
sign up for the stuff I didn't know about. I go, oh, let me just go there and see what it's like. And Jessica Blue was very nice, and I got to be her plus one. And so I met her there, and then I got into the expo area, which was just this long hallway. That was it. And I looked for, I said hello to everybody. Hello, hi, hi. And I had my business cards, and that's the only opportunity I've gotten to use them. But I felt so like, oh my gosh, I could just, just like, oh, finally, like these are people I see on Zoom. It was so fun. I totally forgot about my business cards. Thank you so much. I'm gonna set the box out
Anytime.
so I remember.
I literally thought about it. I'm like, does she have any business cards or like any like way that she can pass like her business information to them just in case?
Um, and I'm sure we'll probably, in the past, kind of, we've gotten the email addresses or
Hmm.
something to be able to say thank you, after. So I imagine that might happen, but I like to. Okay, this is what my business card looks like. It's so cute. Okay.
That is so pretty. It's so
Isn't that pretty?
professional.
And it's the voiceovers by Stacy. Has my email and my website and my phone number. And on the back it says bilingual English and Spanish. And even though I don't necessarily have to say all this, I like to drive the point home. It says commercials, narration, trailers, imaging, corporate, animation, characters, video games on the back.
That is so professional. Oh my God.
I
That's
love
so pretty.
I love this card so much.
Well, be sure to take them
That is
throughout.
something I was overlooking. And I'll be looking if I'm, this is my cranberry prop. It's really a cherry prop. I looked up Amazon. They actually have fake stuff. It's probably for people's Christmas decoration.
Hmm.
I go, a little red circle.
If
Okay,
you
so
you held it into like in front of your nose and it looked like a clown nose first.
oh, that's important to not do. Thank you. Wait, a little red circle. A little red
No,
circle.
that probably would have been a little. Like, I would probably like hold it like next to your cheek like this.
Oh, wait, this is important. Thank you. Wait. Um, and I'm not that, Law was going like this, a little red circle. But that makes me think of this as the circle, not like I'm holding
Yeah,
something.
but I think she's also, but I think because she's also in front of the camera,
True.
so she holds it up like that.
So I can't go here because that looks like I'm saying something else.
I would
Okay.
probably say like right next to, yeah, right there.
Little, a little red circle. Okay. Great.
Alrighty. Oh, we're more than halfway through. What is one thing you expect to take away from the showcase?
And all roads lead to Rome. It's all wrapped up in the same packages of relationships,
Hmm.
connections that transcend this event, that eventually we can collaborate on projects. Um, I know who they are. They know who I am. I want to be able to get on more rosters. And I'm experiencing more rosters, but I actually don't want to just be on the roster. I want to do bigger and better things and actually get to work on those projects. So my takeaway really is all wrapped around and intertwined with those relationships and connections, ongoing, bigger, better, stronger projects, relationships, connections, bigger, better, stronger.
Is that a part of your slogan?
No, I just made that up. But I like it.
You could add that as your ad for your business.
Bigger, better, stronger.
So, what are your plans after Showcase?
My plans after Showcase um, are all wrapped up again in those relationships and connections. So, literally after Showcase, I am going to go home. But, and probably, no, literally after Showcase, I might spend the night and see some local family. But after Showcase, um, to continue that feeling of what it felt like at Showcase, which is a high, a buzz, a super deep dive into the creativity, and having to act on the spot in person doing that. I'll probably look for more opportunities to do these things in person, and I want to actively pursue these new connections and relationships, and continue to grow those.
Okay. And how do you plan to continue to grow your business and within the overall industry afterwards, after the showcase?
I'm a big proponent of virtual coffee. That's my thing. I love to have virtual coffee. A lot of the ongoing connections that I have are from virtual coffees that I've had. So I love to reach out and just get to know the people that I've met, them and what they do and about what they do, and not for the purpose of an end goal. And that's very important. The purpose is I want to know who they are and what they do. And conversely, they get to know who I am and what I do, and hopefully they'll remember me. So, how I'll grow that is to continue to have those virtual coffees and take our relationships to the next level, where they're more and more familiar with what I do and keep growing authentically. That word is totally overused, and so is the word organic. Naturally, like real. You know, what makes a difference about any of the videos I do or the virtual coffees that I have or um, whatever, anything that we do on Zoom. I just want to really be there and like really do it, like really be there and be present. So it's real.
So, when you say virtual coffees, do you mean like sort of like you would have like a conversation with them like you would at a coffee shop type thing?
You know what? It's just like this. I may
Oh,
not be in
okay.
my booth, but where we can briefly meet. I've done it on the phone too. Someone was in their car one time. It's pretty brief. It could be 5 minutes. It could be an hour if we're having a good conversation. And I usually will reach out and say in some kind of way, "Hey, would you like to have a brief virtual coffee? I'd love to know more about you and what you do." And and amazingly, a lot of times they'll say yes. And just that connection, you're not a font anymore. You know, I don't want to be a
Hmm.
font. I want to see them and I want them to see me and learn about each other.
So will you be doing the well not exactly it wouldn't exactly be a virtual coffee if you're going to actually meet them face to face like you decide to have like an actual like sit down and have coffee with them or whatnot. But do you plan on doing more of those like in show like after showcase like face to face?
Well, you know what? With everybody's schedule and stuff, and I think people, it's more of obviously more of a commitment to do that.
Mhm.
So I want to be able to meet everybody, but it's a very light meeting, you
Mhm.
know? So I'm not a I'm an in your face but not in your face person. So I want to meet them and we're all there for some reason, voiceover or acting or whatever it is. So we all know that. So unless they're going to ask me about it, I'm not going to pitch that position. You know what I mean? And I
Mm-hmm.
don't think we have the opportunity other than this immediate social setting at the studio
Mm-hmm.
uh, to talk, so just light cocktail conversation, type of
Mm-hmm.
thing. And then if I have their contact information, then I could always reach out in another kind of way if it fits. You know what I mean? But just
Yeah.
that's one of the things, one of the ways, after that I could communicate.
Okay. Sounds very cozy.
Because just imagine, they probably get a lot of people walk up to, hi, I'm this, I'd really like to be on your roster, and oh, this is
Mm.
my, so I figure, they know I'm there. So just like if you go to have, you go to an auto repair shop and you go to get your brakes done, and the mechanic is going, I love to do brakes. I do brakes, I do brakes, I do brakes. You'd be like, that's weird. Or, okay. Are
Like we
we have a
get it.
special on brakes today? Like, I know, your sign says that. Okay.
All right. So that is all the questions that we have. Is there anything else that you'd like to add or whatnot? Or any questions that you have?
No, I don't have any questions.